Hey guys, it's Sam, and I haven't done a little discussion video, a little community discussion thing in a while. So today I want to talk about, is the book community inherently shallow? This is a topic that comes back around every handful of months, multiple times a year, for sure, from different people. This most recent iteration was spurred on by an article written by a former booktuber who claimed that they were a big booktuber, but they kind of weren't. Anyway, they've always been awful. But they recently wrote an article and were saying how book talk is really shallow, right? I'm not gonna necessarily go into specifically about book talk because this isn't even a specific book talk related problem. This has been something that has been flung at really any space dominated by women, but particularly any book community throughout. You know, it's been thrown at BookTube, it's been thrown at Bookstagram. I don't know if blogs had that problem, but they probably did. Like, it's not a platform specific thing. I do want to note that the times that I've seen it done, it's also usually dominated by men saying this. Not always, but it's funny that that's a little trend I've noticed. But anyway, thoughts about this. This is a thing that pops up a lot. First of all, the book community is not a monolith. Never has been, never will be. So this idea that, oh, the big community is shallow, oh, people are just doing it to show off their pretty shelves, people are faking reading, that's a weird one. All of that, I mean, maybe there's a few in there, I doubt it, but maybe, right? I can't say for sure in the entire bookish space if there's no one that does this, but generally speaking, there's so many different people making so many different kinds of content, reading so many different kinds of books, that to say book talk is this way or booktube is this way is just false because there is no monolith for any particular platform or community. Also, so many of these spaces are very much curated by you. So if someone is saying, oh, book talk is this way, specifically book talk, because the algorithm pushes what you are liking and watching and engaging with. So that is very much like a you problem if all you're seeing is a certain kind of content. But the same can be true for other algorithms as well. So it is also like maybe you shouldn't make an opinion piece or say something about a certain community if you haven't been in it very long, if you're not in it at all, or yeah, if you just started getting into it and of course it's feeding you just the popular stuff until it figures out what you like, algorithm-wise. The next piece that I've noticed, about when this comes around is this is usually something that is aimed at people from someone who is like a lit fic reader or a particular type of reader. Now, those people are also not monoliths, so I'm not saying that this is something that everyone in that community does, but I have always tended to notice that this tends to come from a like lit fic type space or a certain like type of genre space. And what I've noticed for that is that those spaces, lit fic spaces, tend to be very privilege focused and like prestige focused. It's much more status oriented in lit fic spaces because it's about sort of like awards and things like that. You know, these are these sort of like underground books that only certain people know about. It's a very privileged space because the lit fic space is a very privileged space. And so you're going to just get certain types of discussions in that space and maybe certain types of people, not across the board, but certain types of people being drawn to those spaces. So my theory about this psychologically is that there's actually a lot of projection going on when someone says, oh, someone's reading for clout or someone's reading for, you know, fake reading, whatever, blah, 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 because there might be some pressure to do that within some of those spaces. Have you read the latest Man Booker? Have you read the book award, blah, 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 blah. Do you know about this niche, popular, award-winning book? That's very lit fic focused, right? Again, not everybody that reads lit fic is like that, but that's what you tend to see out of those spaces. So it makes sense for someone that's in those spaces to think everyone is doing this because I'm doing it, right? I mean, human brains do that in general. I do wonder how many people just in general have fibbed, lied about a book that they've read that's been very popular in any genre, just because if you didn't know that book, you weren't like a real reader, this like pressure that like communities have. But again, is somebody curating an entire bookshelf just to be seen as a reader when they're not? Like, again, that seems like a lot of effort. That seems like a lot of effort. And people saying, oh, people are just skim reading, but this seems like a lot of effort for what? For what, babes? Do you think that the book community is like rolling in money? It's not. It's just sure not. If someone was gonna fake something, there are other genres of content creation that they could actually put that effort into that would be much bigger payoff in the book world. Speaking of that, a lot of times people always have said this, that, oh, you're doing something for views. You're making a review from this book for views, or you're talking about this genre for views or whatever. Newsflash, people have talked about this. Content is about engagement, not even from a money-making standpoint, but why would you put something out there into the world if you don't want people to talk to you about that thing? Like, for example, that's why I started making booktube content, because I didn't have any friends in real life to talk to about books. So of course I want people to see my content to talk to me about books. Otherwise, what's the point in me making the content? Engagement is part of the fun. It doesn't need to be huge numbers, but there needs to be something, right? So for someone to be like, you're just doing something for views. Yeah. That's not an insult you think it is, babes. Like, that's what you want. You want engagement. You want to talk to people about this thing that you like. You want people that also like this thing or don't like this thing or whatever to see that thing. It's not a gotcha. So overall, this idea about real reading and what makes a real reader, or if you're doing something and it's very aesthetic, it must mean you're not a real reader. Here's the thing. Two things can exist at the same time. You can be really into the aesthetics of a thing and still be doing that thing. I know. Amazing. It doesn't make you a better or more real reader to do that or to not do that. So as this conversation continues to come around, just know that if you read, you're a reader. You're a real reader. If you read with makeup on or if you don't. If you read with aesthetic lighting or if you don't. If you read with cozy book merch or you don't. If you have special editions or not. It doesn't matter. If you're reading, you're a real reader. And people that are putting out this content to have views on it because people like polarizing content. So really, they're also doing the thing that they're accusing us of doing, which is very funny. But if another person in a couple months says like such and such is not real reading, who cares? Who cares? Maybe it's just a sign that I'm getting old. I literally don't care if someone says like fantasy books aren't real reading. Really? Because it's words on a page that I'm reading with my eyeballs or listening to with my ears. It's reading. That's what it is. Comment down below and let me know some of your thoughts on this phenomenon that we get every once in a while. Again, what I think it boils down to is a lot of projection, a lot of low self-esteem from people who throw that out there, because literally, why do you care what other people do with their time? What other people do with their hobbies? Why do other people's hobbies bother you? They don't bother me. I don't understand why people get so worked up from someone doing something they enjoy. But comment below, let me know your thoughts. Also, a few other people have done content about this. Maddie from My Name is Maddie Nez did a newsletter about this, specifically about this article and things from that book talk angle, if you want to check that out. I'm sure other people have talked about stuff as well, but that's the one that I know about the most, but lots of people have talked about this. It's not like it's just a me thing, but wanted to get my thoughts out about it as well. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.